Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and we're going to be talking about a couple of different things in today's video. One of the best PC RPG franchises ever has just gotten a little bit better from a visual side of things. Another RPG was announced for a PC release recently, and it's of an IP we've never seen on PC, and I'm very excited for it, and I think a lot of you guys will be too. It is a Japanese IP, but it's an IP that we are very nostalgic about, and then I also want to talk a little bit about No Man's Sky coming off of its next update. There's also a couple of mods that the modder Red Mist release, and that's going to enhance your No Man's Sky experience even more. More on that at the end of this video. First, let's talk about the new 2K and 4K texture packs for Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, featuring more than 300 new textures in total. These were released by Creeper Lava, and this is going to make all three Mass Effect games look even better than they already did. Now, these games are rather old. Mass Effect 1 was released all the way back in 2007. I believe ME2 came in 2010, and then ME3 came in 2012. These texture packs are really going to enhance the visual fidelity of the game, and their ultimate goal was to achieve the best look possible while remaining very close to the vanilla style. The packs themselves were created by a wide variety of different modders, and they're going to make the games look a lot better. I actually recently played through Mass Effect. When I say recently, I mean like a couple years ago, but far after its original release, and I found that the game visually still looked pretty good. With Mass Effect 1, the real drawback with that game is not from a visual side of things, it's actually from the gameplay. It's a bit dated. Mass Effect 2 really ramps it up and retains the great storytelling while literally making the gameplay 100 times better, and then Mass Effect 3 retains the strong gameplay but then falters off with the storytelling, so you can see why many people think Mass Effect 2 is the best of the series. Still, I think all three games are worthwhile playing. You can get them very cheap on sale. I've seen the Mass Effect trilogy go for like $7.50 on Origin, and that is a fantastic pickup. Even with the drawbacks to Mass Effect 1 and Mass Effect 3, I still think those two games are head and shoulders above the average game. It's just to the standard of Mass Effect 2, I wouldn't say Mass Effect 1 and 3 are quite as good. But again, a great trilogy. If you're a fan of RPGs at all and you've never played Mass Effect, you're doing yourself a grave disservice, and now you can go back and enjoy the games with better visuals. And bear in mind that now in 2018, these games are a breeze to run. So even if you're playing the game at 2K or 4K, which is what these texture packs are designed for, chances are if you have a PC that you built in the last year or two, you are going to demolish this game, even at 4K, while retaining 60 frames per second and playing the games at that resolution, playing the games at 60 frames per second, given the fact that 2 and 3 are played more like a third-person shooter. These games are still very much enjoyable today, and bear in mind that I played through these games without the texture packs recently, and I still had a fantastic time. So with these texture packs, it's just going to be an even more enjoyable experience, and if you've been waiting a while to give Mass Effect a try, maybe this is what's going to push you over the edge and actually have you check out Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why you haven't already, even if you're remotely a fan of RPGs or just good games in general. I cannot say enough good things about Mass Effect, and I'll put a link in the description box below where you can get more information about the texture packs. Moving on from that, let's talk about a game franchise or an IP that I really didn't expect to come over to PC, and that is Digimon. Yes, we are getting a Digimon game on PC. Now, I know not everyone is a gigantic fan of Digimon. A lot of times Digimon is compared to Pokemon, but if you compare about marquee value, I think Pokemon is far ahead of Digimon at this point, but I am still a sucker for the Digimon games. I love Digimon as a kid. It's very nostalgic with me, so maybe they hold a more special place for me, but I'm sure a lot of you guys come from the same area. And Digimon is one of those IPs that, yes, while it's a Japanese IP, it really transcended past being an anime, much like Pokemon did. Digimon kind of fell off while Pokemon grew steadily and is still very big today. I know we've gotten those movies. I haven't checked those out, but I've heard they're very good. We got a couple of games on the PlayStation 4, and now we've got a new game that is coming to pretty much every platform, PC included, and that is Digimon Survive. This game looks absolutely awesome, looks much better than the Digimon story games that were released on the PlayStation 4. It looks like Final Fantasy style gameplay with Danganronpa style storytelling. Yeah, if you know either of those two games, if you know both of those games, and me just saying it looks like a mix of those two, you already know that this game has some crazy potential. The CG trailer looked great, and the gameplay also looks very artistic. It doesn't look amazing from a technical standpoint in the traditional sense, but hey, for the visual style that it's going for, I really like what Digimon Survive is cooking up, and I think it has potential to be a really stellar game. And I believe this is the first Digimon game that'll officially be released on PC. Maybe there was one released way back in the day, but if you guys are into emulation and you want some recommendation on what my favorite Digimon games were, Digimon World 3 is absolutely excellent, and it's a game that visually, for a PlayStation 1 game, doesn't look all too bad, and I can still find myself going back and enjoying that. Digimon World 4 was very good as well, and if you're into RPGs, those two are the ones to go after. Also on the PS2, you can check out Digimon Rumble Arena 2. That's a fighting game. So yeah, a little bit of information information for you Digimon fans out there, and I think outside of all of the other Japanese games I talk about, Digimon is one that a lot of the other JRPG franchises that I might talk about, like Ys or Tales of. I feel like a Digimon title just won't be labeled as your typical weeb trash that I know some of you guys comment. I read the comments, and I see the weeb trash comments every now and again, but Digimon is one that I feel like you really can't call weeb trash. And lastly, I do want to talk a little bit about No Man's Sky coming off of the No Man's Sky Next update. This is another game that's having mods released by the modder Redmus. Now, this guy has already been modding No Man's Sky prior to Next even being released, and he restored the original 1.0 biomes and tweaked them to look like pre-release footage. This is a game that he's super invested into. He said that he's super passionate about the game, and you kind of need to be if you're super into modding, because it's very time absorbing and you're not getting much financial return out of it. But after the launch of No Man's Sky Next, Redmus has created 8 new mods to also enhance the experience. PC Gamer has a pretty good article on it, so I'll leave that in the description box, but some of these mods include Fantastic Beasts, that boosts creature encounters and changes creature size, numbers, and behaviors, and a matte effect for scientific spaceships. Alien structures deposits replaces the vanilla deposit assets with alien structures. So you can see that on top of the No Man's Sky Next update, there are mods of the game also being released, so No Man's Sky is becoming a better and better experience. I haven't had a chance to put too much time into it since the next update has been released. A couple of my friends have, however, and they have said very positive things about it. It's still far from perfect. There are performance issues and the game isn't where it needs to be. But to give you guys an idea, this game in the past sat at mostly negative user reviews on Steam. I think it was at 33%. And now it's sitting at mixed at 46%, and the recent reviews are much more positive at 80% positive of the 11,395 user reviews altogether. 80% still isn't a fantastic score, and you'll see that a lot of people have issues with it, but given the fact that where the game was, given the fact that this game released 2 years ago at $60, and it was a far lesser experience compared to what it is today, now you can get it for 50% off, $29.99, and you are getting so much more out of the game. If you just want to try it out, as always, you can buy it on Steam, play it for 2 hours, and then see if you like it, and you can refund it from there on. However, I do have to mention that No Man's Sky isn't a game that you're really going to get an entire feel for within that 2-hour allotted time. Kind of wish that the Steam refund policy would differ from game to game. With a game like No Man's Sky, you're not doing anything in 2 hours. You're really just getting an idea of the fundamental gameplay aspects. I wish you could play it a little bit longer, but I know the fact that they're giving you that 2-hour window and offering refunds at all, that's very generous of them, and a lot of digital platforms don't even offer refunds, so me complaining about that honestly probably isn't right. Still, No Man's Sky is still discounted again, 50% off for the next day or so, so if you do want to get the discounted copy of the game, do pick it up ASAP, because I would not say that this game is worth $59.99. I'll give it credit that it's $29.99 right now, but the MSRP for this game is still $59.99. That is absolutely insane. Do not pay $60 for this game. That is just a little ridiculous for a game that is 2 years old. It should have released at $30, and that price really should have stuck, and by now, we probably should be seeing the game at $14.99, but hey, that's just me being cheap as hell. You guys know how I am, and sometimes you guys hate on me for being super cheap, but hey, what can you do? I like to save money, and I don't feel No Man's Sky is worth $60. I feel like that $30 price tag should really stick from here on out, and if Hello Games really wanted to be super positive and wanted to change the perception of this game, they should have come out with the next update and then also announced, yes, the game is having its MSRP drop to $29.99 and then run, say, a 25% off discount for the first 2 weeks of Next being out, and you could pick up the game for $22.50 or something like that. I think that would have been the best way to roll out this No Man's Sky 2.0, so to speak. But hey, that's why one of these publishers' marketing departments needs to hire me very soon, because I like to act like I know what the hell I'm talking about from a marketing end of things, when I probably don't, but that's just my opinion. I think that would have been a lot more positive for the game. That's gonna conclude this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Again, if you're planning on revisiting Mass Effect or experience it for the first time, check out those texture packs. Remember, these games are super easy to run now, but they are still excellent games. Outside of a couple of recent RPGs, I think the ME trilogy still holds up with the best of them. Digimon Survive is coming to PC. I know a lot of you guys that are nostalgic about that are gonna be very excited for that game. Not only am I hyped for that game on the basis that it's a Digimon game, but it actually just looks very good. So I think that's a 2019 title that has a lot of potential, and No Man's Sky modders are making it better. It's discounted for the next day. If you have any interest, I would check it out ASAP, because it's going back to being $59.99, and at that price, I would say it's absolutely not worth it. If you guys have a request for a future video, as always, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. This video is brought to you by the new Humble Monthly. Get Tales of Berseria, Sniper Elite 4, and Staxel for just $12 along with the rest of the bundle that's gonna unlock on the first Friday of September. Alternatively, if you don't want any of those early unlocks, you can get Rise of the Tomb Raider instead as an early unlock ahead of Shadow of the Tomb Raider's release in September. And once again, if you decide to get Rise of the Tomb Raider, the rest of the bundle will unlock on the first Friday of September. Just $12 for all that content, and on top of that, you get access to the Humble Trove and 10% off everything in the Humble store. Check out the link in the description box below.